It's the 18th of March 2009 and we have a very special guest with us this morning, Father Jim O'Mara, the parish priest of St. Susie and a student at the school in the 1940s. Father Jim, welcome.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Jim, we might begin if you can tell us a little bit about your life before you came to Kogarah.
Marist.
Marist, yes.
I've always
Kogarah,
been in Kogarah. My mother and father grew up in Kogarah. My grandfather established himself as a businessman in 1888 in Kogarah, and we have 2 streets named after us.
Fantastic.
Because my grandfather put them down, O'Mara Street and Toomivara Street. Well, I grew up among a whole heap of O'Maras. I was born in Carlton, and we lived in Westbourne Street near Anglo Square, next to O'Mara Street, and while I was at school here we always regretted that we weren't the O'Maras of O'Maras. So I grew up there and I went to St. Patrick's primary school at Kogarah, as did my mother and father before me, and our family was very well known in the district.
You were saying your father was here on the...
Yes, my father was here on the opening day in 1909. So in the centenary year, I'm sort of celebrating for him, as it were.
That's wonderful. So your own history with association with Marist Kogarah would have started in the 1940s?
41. After primary school at Kogarah, like all the local feeder schools, we came here in 4th grade at school. And we joined a class of about 110 in 4th grade. And our teacher at the time was Brother Cuthbert, and following him later was the famous Brother... I'll think of his name in a moment. Anyway, yes, so we most of us naturally came to Marist Kogarah after having been at the parish school at St. Patrick's Kogarah.
I guess in a modern context, a class size of 110, people would be amazed. And just think,
Incredible.
how would the teacher coped?
You hear people speak of those days and how they coped, we've no idea. But they got there somehow. And of course, I can remember when the asphalting was done on the playground out there, and we used to have to go around and sell a square yard of it for 2 and 6
Right. So this was how you got funding.
Money raising, fundraising in those days, yes. Well, we had cricket nets, of course, over there in the far end of the schoolyard there, and my young brother Frank, who attended school here along with all my brothers. My 3 brothers and my uncles and my cousins, we've all attended Marist Kogarah. And the fact I might mention, that people may recall, is that what we used to call the flat, an area down here by this stormwater drain.
Yes.
And the prickly weeds, whatever they were, I forget the name of them now, but we used to run barefoot, of course, and in no time you'd have all these prickles in your feet.
Yeah.
Yes. So I've got all sorts of lovely, interesting memories of the whole place.
Any of the brothers stand out in your memory?
Oh yes, lots of them. Yes, Brother Cuthbert taught us in 4th grade. I remember that very, very well because it was my initiation into the place, and in taking in members of the class from all over the district here. And then Brother Valerian, and then Brother Xavier in 6th class. He was a famous man, Brother Xavier. Brother Bede Young, I think his surname is. He's still living over there at Joey's, and I met him recently at another class reunion. Brother Bede was a famous man in our day. Brother Gonzalez attempted to teach us mathematics, and lots of wonderful men in our day. In 1941, when I came, we had Brother Placidus and Brother Morris as principals. In my time, this was wartime, of course.
Oh yes, yes.
And one other thing about that, we had an air raid shelter that was located in that area over there. One air raid shelter for 1,000 boys. So our group, at the time, I remember, we were taking my brother Xavier from Year 6 down to a covered part of this Wolsey Road here, where the stormwater drain is, and we would do our air raid practice
in the drain.
Stormwater drain, that's correct. These are the things you remember, odd things.
Odd things you remember from the time, yeah, wonderful. So, you finish at school, what happens?
Well, I decided at the end of, year 11 today, 4th year in the secondary school, to do the Living Certificate at the Springwood Seminary rather than here. With a big family at home, homework was almost impossible. So I thought, oh, I'll go a year early, and luckily, and very fortunately, we had the Marist brothers teaching us in the secondary school department of the Springwood Seminary, St. Columbus. Went on from here and with a sense of vocation to St. Columbus at Springwood, where I was later parish priest for 10 years after all that. But yes, in the seminary at Springwood, we had men from here, from Kogarah. I was speaking to Father John Ford today on the phone, and he was a classmate of mine here.
All right.
Yes. And others from here went to the seminary, and others to Mittagong to join the Marist brothers.
And then, of course, in your role as parish priest of St. Susie,
yes,
you've continued in association with the school.
Oh, absolutely, yes, yes, yes. Brother, our parish was founded at St. Susie, was founded by the famous Monsignor O'Driscoll, John O'Driscoll, who founded the school here really and bought the land on Manigoat Hill where we sit right now.
Yes.
And he's very well known and honoured and recalled clearly these days. People have a pretty good idea of who Monsignor John O'Driscoll was. I was altar server, a thurifer at his funeral in 1942.
Okay. So we thank you very much for your time this morning. It's been wonderful talking to you, and there are some great memories.
Oh, a lot more.
A lot more, yeah. Thank you.